If you're a multifamily investor looking to scale your portfolio, chances are you're probably looking through a lot of deals. Now, having good deals and a lot of deals come through is important, but just as important is to be able to underwrite them effectively. So what I thought I would do in this video is give you guys my 4 key things that you need to do if you want to underwrite your multifamily deals quickly, so you can figure out if it's worth spending time, not worth spending time. You'll know if this is something that's worth pursuing, and you can tackle the deal much more efficiently. So I'm gonna go over my 4 key steps to underwriting quickly multifamily deals, and we're gonna get after it right now. What's going on, guys? My name is Lior, and welcome back to my channel. Now, before I get into the meat and potatoes of the video, 2 super quick things, guys. Number 1, if this is your first time on my channel, first of all, welcome. Second of all, make sure you smash that subscribe button for me. I am still putting out weekly content on this channel, talking all different facets of multifamily investing. I give you guys walkthroughs of my own projects. We talk about analysis, construction, everything in between. So if that's the kind of content you're looking for, make sure you subscribe. So as I said in the intro, what we're gonna do in this video is talk about the 4 things that I think you have to do when you're going to be underwriting and analyzing multifamily deals, right? Because as we said, if you're gonna be an investor, obviously you wanna have good deal flow, right? But with good deal flow also comes with analyzing all the deal flow, right? And you don't wanna spend too much time, right? Because, the truth is, most of the deals that cross our desks are not going to be the right deals, and we don't want to spend a lot of time on them. We want to be able to quickly get a feel of, is this a building or a property that I'm interested in, excited about, that, kind of checks some basic assumptions, and then we can kind of spend more time on the deal if that's something we want to do. So with that, let's get into my 4 key steps. And let's go with step number 1. And step number 1 has to deal with the rent roll, right? And basically what you want to do is 2 things. You want to be able to get the rents or the rent roll of the property today, right? So the current rent roll. And then you also want to put some quick numbers on your stabilized rent roll, right? Because chances are you're probably looking at a property that either is going to need some work, or you're going to stabilize the rents, increase them in order to extract some value, right? And what that means is you're going to increase rents, right? So you want to have your rent roll for today's rents, and usually you can find that on the broker's marketing packages, right? They'll usually have a rent roll tab, or they'll get an Excel sheet. So you can grab that data from there. And sometimes those broker packages will also have the stabilized rent rolls, right? Now, if you're really familiar with the area, right, when I look through properties, I'll quickly gut check those assumptions too, right? I'll be able to say, hey, quickly look through and be like, hey, does this look accurate, right? Can, a 2-bedroom in Boston really get this kind of rent? Or can a 3-bedroom, renovated with a little renovation get this kind of rent? And I'll kind of just gut check those assumptions. Now, if you are not familiar with the area, let's say you're looking at a brand new area, I would say for the purposes of just quickly filtering through deals, honestly, what I've done when I'm not familiar with the area, I'll just look at the broker's package, right? I'll take their numbers for whatever the stabilized rents that they're telling me. Now, of course, this is not something that I'm gonna, rely on when I'm really doing my analysis. But again, for the sake of quickly putting numbers together, you can use the broker's packages. If you're not familiar with the area, that's not a big deal. But obviously, if you do know the area, grab those rents and you can gut check them. You can make your own adjustments quickly and go from there. The second thing I want to be on the lookout for is assumptions on renovations needed and layouts, right? Now, a lot of times you're not going to be able to get that super clearly from just the marketing package, but here's what you can do. You can try to look for pictures, right? So sometimes the marketing package will include pictures of, units, things like kitchens and baths, and you can quickly see, hey, does this look like something that's going to need renovation, right? And that's probably going to be pretty obvious. Now, if for whatever reason, let's say you just get an address, or the marketing package you're looking at does not have any pictures, you can also always just Google the address. And what I do sometimes, let's say I'm looking at 123 Main Street, I'll say, hey, 123 Main Street, Boston for rent, right? And I'll look at previous rental pictures, right? And I'll kind of get a sense from rental listings. Again, what's the condition of the property? Can I kind of get a feel for the layout? Are they well laid out? Does it look kind of choppy from the pictures? Right, you want to start to build a little bit of a base of what are we dealing with. You can also look for mechanical insights into these pictures, right? If you want to take it to real next level, you could get a sense of what kind of heating systems there are, right? Is it forced there? Do you have like hot water systems with baseboard or radiators, right? And again, depending on the level of renovation you're going to take this to and depending on your business plan, that could be really valuable information for you as you're starting to kind of put your assumptions together. Step number 3 you want to account for is the operating expenses. Now, with operating expenses, again, if you're dealing with marketing packages, most likely you're going to get some sort of operating expenses on the package. Now, again, usually these are not fully inclusive of everything you're going to incur, but they should have some assumptions about things like utilities charged, right? So, if there's like a common electric or, common gas, oil for heat, you'll get those charges. You'll get things like water sewer bills that, that the landlord has to pay. You can look at the maintenance assumptions, maintenance repairs assumption. I will say typically those tend to be pretty light, right? You never really know how the current owner categorized maintenance repairs versus maybe other categories. So usually I use my own, but it's a good thing to look at. You can look at things like snow, landscaping, pest control. Now, 2 other things you want to be on the lookout for taxes. You can certainly use the current tax bill that the seller's incurring, but you need to have the understanding that most likely your building will get reassessed at some point in the future after your purchase, and you're probably going to start to get a bigger tax bill, so just be aware of that. And then with insurance, it's something that you can potentially use the seller's number today, but just be aware that when you're placing a new policy in the building, chances are that when you place that new policy, you're probably going to get a higher estimate and a higher cost. Again, very much area dependent and dependent on what kind of building you're dealing with. But from my experience, it's unlikely you're going to get a better policy. Best case scenario, you're going to get the same. Most likely, you're going to get a more expensive policy. So just be aware of that as you're plugging in your operating expense assumptions. And finally, the 4th category or the 4th key thing that you need to look for is cap rates, price, and return metrics, right? Now, with cap rates, what you want to do is first plug in assumptions about what you think the current market cap rates are, right? So what do, Class B dated product in Boston, what kind of cap rate is that trading for versus maybe if you're looking at like a Class A, 2-year-old building, it's obviously going to trade at a lower, most likely going to trade at a lower cap, right? So you want to make some cap rate assumptions so you can figure out what your projected back end value is based on today's cap rates. Then you can look at things like, how much equity you're creating if you're going to be doing any sort of stabilization or construction work. You can look at cash on cash. You can look at some quick metrics like that. And again, just start to get a feel of what do cash flows look like? What do equity margins look like? How attractive a play can this really be? And see if there's really anything there, right? I mean, it'll be pretty obvious if there's something there, if there's, something that's workable with, or if you're kind of just dealing with a not so great deal. So those are the 4 things that I typically do when I'm, again, just quickly trying to filter through and see if there's anything, if there's anything worth exploring. You're going to, by doing this, you're going to be able to see today's financials. You're going to be able to see the stabilized financials. You're going to be able to get a clear NOI after you put in your operating expenses. You put in your cap rates, you'll see the back end values, you'll see the equity created, you'll see the cash flows the building produced, and you can kind of get a pretty quick sense of how attractive a play this can be. Now, if you guys don't have a template for this, make sure to go in the comments after you checked out this video, download my free template. I give it away for free. And again, it's a template that I quickly plug in all these assumptions in, and again, just kind of get a quick feel of the deal. So make sure to get that. Again, it's in the comments in the video below. So otherwise though, guys, I hope you guys got a ton of value out of this video. Of course, as always, if you have any questions, make sure to put them in the comments below, and I will definitely help you